And just cue us when we're on. I don't know if there's a delay on that computer. Hey everyone, I'm Rekha Muttaraj in our KHOU 11 newsroom, 2:20 on this Thursday. Now, typically we do 3 big stories that we're working on today, things that people are talking about, but something that a lot of you online are talking about is a story done by KHOU 11 investigative reporter Jeremy Rogalski talking about recycling and this sort of bombshell report you've come out with last night. Very interesting stuff, because this is a continuation of something you showed us a few months ago, which was pretty incriminating video. Explain it to our viewers who maybe haven't seen it.
So this all started on Earth Day of all days, back in late April, and we caught a city garbage truck picking up the green recycling bins and dumping them into his truck along with the garbage from the black bins, and that all wound up heading to the landfill. Now at the time, Rekha, the city said this was just one isolated case from one rogue driver who want to follow the rules, but we've been getting a bunch of records from the city, and we found more than 100 cases of recyclables that went to the landfill. So 100 policy violations.
How are these reported?
So we have these records, and these are daily logs that each city solid waste truck driver keeps every day, talking about, you know, the routes they went on, what type of garbage they collected, and where they disposed it. So the proof is in the city's own records, because in black and white it says, yeah, we didn't take it to a recycling processing center, we took it to the landfill. The big question, and one we still cannot answer, is why is this going on?
All right, let's take a look at your story from last night.
It all started on Earth Day when our cameras captured this city truck dumping green recycling bins together with black bins filled with trash. Not the only case. We now know the city violated its recycling rules at least 105 times since the first of the year. How? The city's own records prove it. Take a look at these daily collection forms each solid waste driver fills out, showing the type of waste collected and where it was disposed. For example, at 3 o'clock on a January afternoon, a driver wrote that a recycling load of 4 tons was taken to M, which stands for the McCarty landfill, the place where garbage like dirty diapers and rotten food gets dumped. These city records confirm that 4-ton load arrived at the landfill at 3 p.m.
Again, that's just one of the 100+ cases that came out of the city documents we received, but we're still waiting for more records, about this many more. So the number of botched recycling loads is likely to grow into an even bigger recycling mess.
That's just wrong. There's just no 2 ways about it.
City Council member Brenda started.
If we're misleading the public and saying we're taking it to recycling and it's going to the landfill, I think people should be outraged.
It sounds like we have a big problem, and I'm wondering why.
Councilmember Michael Kubash wants to know if city supervisors are at the root of the problem.
Somebody has been telling these drivers, why would a driver do it on his own accord? He's got to be getting instructions from somewhere else to take it to the landfill.
Mayor Turner says an internal audit underway will help to answer those questions, and the mayor maintains
the policy of the city is that you don't take any recyclables to landfills.
The policy violations fall under the watch of Solid Waste Department Director Harry Hayes.
Let me just say this. Ultimately, the mayor and the council hold me accountable for this, and I take full responsibility for everything that has occurred.
And with that responsibility, Hayes concedes, comes consequences too.
As we find that things have gone wrong, they will be corrected, and the appropriate individuals, up to and including myself, will be held accountable.
Mayor Turner says he expects that internal audit to be completed in the next 30 to 45 days. In the meantime, as city records come in, we'll continue to expose city recycling gone wrong. Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 investigates.
Okay, that was eye-opening. That was Jeremy Rogalski's report about the city and recycling and how it's not always going where it should be. He's here with us now. Were you surprised by these findings?
we've been talking to a lot of insiders at the city who obviously fear reprisal if they go on camera, so they've been talking to us behind the scene. These are city truck drivers. They tell us that it's the city supervisors who have been instructing them to do this. So the short answer is no, we didn't know how big of the problem it is, and we still don't know, because as you saw, we're still waiting on mounds
documents,
of more records to show, but at least initially, we can say, and we thought it was important to do the story, Reka, because it wasn't just a onesie, twosie, or a handful thing. When you're talking more than 100 cases over the past few months and you only have this many records, this is starting to look like an emerging pattern and a widespread pattern.
I had a question about these reports that are filled out. These are filled out by the drivers, so they say what they picked up. They were picking up recycling, dumping them in a landfill.
Right.
And these are the ones where they were honest about it. Would there be any reason for them to lie on a sheet like this?
So good question. And what we do in in the investigative business is we don't always rely on just one set of records.
Yeah.
So as you saw in the piece, we looked at these handwritten records, which could have some human error in it, and then we compared those with the records at the landfill. Each time a truck comes in at the landfill, they enter that data. What's the truck number? What time did it come in? How much tons did it have in terms of the load? And we got a spreadsheet of that. So we, not to get too much in the weeds here, but we compared one set of records to the other set of records, and that's how we arrived at that 105 numbers. So we wanted to make sure that there wasn't a discrepancy between the two. We're very comfortable with that. The city does not dispute that number either, by the way. So, yeah.
Everyone at the city seems to realize that this is a problem. As you've alerted them to it, we've city council members, the mayor has said that this was a one-time thing, but obviously he's seen this, he knows that it's a problem. What do you think they're going to do next? Are they going to take this seriously?
So the mayor has pledged to complete an internal audit within 30 to 45 days. That's currently still underway. The solid waste director, Harry Hayes, says it will not only be a review of paper documents, but they're also going to be conducting extensive interviews with employees, with its supervisors, to try to drill down and determine, okay, why were these decisions made and who made them? Was it just a driver? Was it a supervisor? Was it more than one supervisor? How high up potentially? If there was a directive, does it go? Still unanswered, but what we're going to do as these records still come in from the city, we're going to continue to look at them. Next week we may find another 100 cases. Who knows, because we don't have the records yet. But certainly we'll stay on top of it. And then when the city releases its findings from the audit, we're going to be continuing to do our own investigation and say, hey, City of Houston, are your numbers accurate or are they not? So we're the watchdog here, and we'll continue to do so.
In the larger scheme of things, if people are watching this and they say, hey, every once in a while things get mixed up, I try to recycle, it doesn't go to the wrong place, why should people care about this story? Why is this a bigger issue?
Number one, your tax dollars are paying for it. Number two, there's a multi-million-dollar brand new, we're talking 6 weeks old, state-of-the-art recycling facility in Northeast Houston. So the city has gone out and heralded this as a model facility in the country. Well, if you have a model facility, it doesn't do any good if the stuff's not getting to the facility. So, that's an issue too. And then thirdly, I would submit that citizens are doing their part. I don't know at your household, I know at ours, we teach our kids, hey, this goes in the trash, this goes in the recycling bin. We all want to do our part to help protect the environment, save the planet. That's why it's so ironic that this investigation started on Earth Day of all days. And so, as we heard from the city council members, listen, people, believe they're doing the right thing, and then to find out it's winding up at the dump with your dirty diapers and cat litter mess and your spoiled leftovers, it really makes a lot of people cringe.
Absolutely, it's not right. All right, if you're just joining us, you missed Jeremy's report. Where can they find it?
So khou.com, check it out right there on the investigations page. And also follow me on Facebook and Twitter as we continue to provide updates.
Absolutely, and you've got a lot of comments coming in as well. Make sure that I know you're going to follow up on some of those comments. If
Absolutely.
people have questions and stuff online.
We're going to answer those as we speak.
Thank you. Keep them coming. Jeremy's going to get to your questions, and thank you so much for watching our mid-afternoon update. We're going to see you guys back here on KHOU 11 News at 4 o'clock.